Weather continues to heat up. More and more people are heading to the beach, and the reality of shark sightings are on the rise across the country, including the Long Island and New Jersey shorelines.
That's right. Biologist and wildlife expert Forrest Galante joins us with safety tips to keep in mind for your next beach trip. Hello, sir. Good to see you again.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
So for the uninitiated, as Marisol likes to say, how long have you made it your life's work to be out here working with these sharks?
Yeah, well, I've been working with wildlife literally my entire life. I grew up on safari in the southern African bush. So wildlife is something that I've been around my whole life, and sort of having a conversation like this, communicating the fact that sharks are not villains, they are to be respected and not feared, is incredibly important, especially as we approach these summer months where your likelihood of a shark encounter does increase.
Okay. You know, you are the voice of reason, and you say it, and it still gives me pause.
It's a little jarring.
We both love swimming in the ocean.
Yes.
What are we currently seeing when it comes to shark sightings and attacks right now? Because we were just saying there was a spotting of a great white.
Every weekend ever since I feel like we got
down
to
the shore.
Weekend, yeah.
Down the shore, New Jersey shore. What are we seeing?
Well, put those goosebumps to rest, because there's not more sharks than ever. We're not being attacked. Nothing like that is taking place. Instead, what we are seeing is every single year around this time, as the water warms up, especially around the New Jersey shore and things like that, where you have these large congregations of fish and seals moving closer to shore because the water is warmer. And of course, with them come the predators, come the sharks. And if you consider that in addition to that, it's summertime, we're all going to the beach, we all want to go for a swim, you know, the likelihood of an encounter only goes up because we are crossing paths with these predators more than we would any other time of the year.
That makes sense.
I have several follow-up questions.
No problem.
What? He's like, I'm ready. Fire away. What would the reason be behind seeing a shark so close to a busy shoreline with, you know, people just trying to enjoy their day?
Good question. Well, first of all, keep in mind sharks are predators, so they're looking for activity, right? And anywhere that you have a lot of activity, you have splashing in the water, you have people fishing, they could be cutting carcasses and throwing them in the sea. It's just noise and energy that is going to draw in a curious and intelligent predator. And there are tips and things that we can do to avoid an encounter, or at least reduce the likelihood of an encounter. And keep in mind, if you do have a shark encounter, 99.99% of the time, you're going to have no idea the shark's even there. It's going to ignore you. It's going to swim on and do its thing.
All right, so get into the safety tips.
Yes, please.
The first one says, stay calm, don't thrash and scream.
Okay, I'll try.
That's a big one. You know, if you do see a shark, try and maintain eye contact. And when I say maintain eye contact, just keep a look at where it is. Don't thrash. Don't get all excited. Just be very calm, slowly back out of the water. Some things that you can do to avoid that encounter in the first place is probably the best approach, which would be not swimming at dusk or dawn. Sharks are crepuscular hunters, meaning they hunt during dusk and dawn. Not swimming near river mouths. Sharks love to be near river mouths, especially bull sharks, which is what the movie Jaws is based on, believe it or not.
A bull shark.
Yeah.
I did not know.
And not wearing flashy, shiny bathing suits, because that can put off a reflection of light that in murky water could simulate a bait fish. Not having, you know, beer cans or water bottles that crunch in the water, because that crunching can actually simulate the cracking of fish bones and get sharks all excited. So just swimming during normal daylight hours on a regular beach, enjoying yourself, not worrying, but being aware would be my tips.
I'm glad you said maintain eye contact, and you gave us a little explainer, because I have it that the sharks are like this. They see sideways.
I think that's the hammerheads.
They see like this. They don't see like this. They see like this. They see me. Yes?
That's correct. Yes, it is.
Okay.
But when I say maintain eye contact, obviously you're not staring in the eyes.
I am not gazing longingly.
Do not stare deep into his or her soul, please.
The shark could not care if I'm falling in love with it or not.
I have a question though, because in one of those the tips that advice that you gave us, there's so much information there. I'm trying to process it. One of the things said that they tend to travel or hunt in pairs, and they're more likely to be with another shark than alone.
Different species will respond differently in the summertime. Some are individuals, they are transient lone animals. Others are schooling sharks, which means they'll be in a group. So you really never know. But the point is, if you're in an area where sharks are prevalent, there's a reason they're prevalent there. It means they're successful in that zone, which means there's likely to be more than one. So odds are, if you're seeing a shark, that's one of several that are in the area.
Okay. All right.
Now, say we find ourselves staring into
longingly
the eyes or the direction of this shark, and it's not working, and we find ourselves...
The shark has not fallen under the spell of Alex Lee and her beauty.
So what do we do when we find ourselves in the midst of a shark attack?
Well, maybe don't think of it as an attack.
Or a duel, perhaps.
Two trains of thought here. One is, if you do encounter a shark, stay calm, exit the water, take a look at it, right? That's like we stated. The other, if you are in a worst case scenario where for some reason a shark has come up and it's gotten close to you, there are certain things that you can do. Sharks, being at the top of the food chain, they do not want to risk injury to themselves. So if you go for the eyeballs, if one happens to bite onto you, if you go for the eyes, go for the gills, that's going to inflict injury and the shark will let go immediately. Other than that, they have special electroreceptors on their nose called the ampullae of Lorenzini, and they are very, very sensitive to overstimulation of that. So if you pop one on the nose, odds are it's going to let you go straight away. But all of this is something you'd have to think about while in the jaws of a shark. So it's a good last-minute thing to potentially remember, but a better suggestion would be to just stay calm and not get in that situation in the first place.
Have you ever had to boop a shark on the nose? You?
I've done several boops in my life.
Oh, my goodness.
Me booping earlier.
Wow. Does anything scare you when it comes to your line of work these days with sharks, or are you not even?
Yeah, it's all scenario based. If you're in really murky water, or the sharks, like people, are individuals. You can end up with one who's just a real grump, and you made a mistake for being in his space, and then at the same time you can have others that are total sweethearts. So there are still scenarios here and there where I end up in a room with a grump, and that's usually time to get out and not push our limits. So yeah, I get scared every now and then.
See, sharks are just like us. Some of us are grumpy and some of us are happy.
Wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
Forrest Galante, you are fantastic.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
I know your Super Bowl is coming up, so Shark Week, very, very soon. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Please, yeah, we've got 2 incredible specials coming out in Shark Week. It's middle of July. It's not summer without Shark Week.
No, it's not.
Come learn a little bit more about sharks and what makes them tick and what's so fantastic, and arm yourselves with that knowledge when you head to the beach.
Yes, knowledge is power. Forrest, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here.